Welcome. Welcome to another edition of Built Through Broadcast. It is I, your host, Coach Shantae, and host Shayola Benta, and we are here today to talk to you more about fibroids. Today, we're diving into the connection of fibroids and the body and ways that you can help your body to release those fibroids, get into a state of balance, and reach optimal health. Let's learn a little bit more about fibroids.
All right. I was like, when you did this, I was like, oh, that's me. So thank you. So thank you for
I don't
bringing
know
us
where the
in.
thumbs up are coming from today, but apparently that's just the
Listen,
vibe that
come
we are on.
through. Oh, wait, she froze. Greetings, Coach Latoya. Oh,
Greetings.
greetings. So Coach Shantae is frozen, maybe not so much in time, but she's going to come back to us. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. So I think she was saying she wasn't sure where the thumbs up was coming from. That's definitely what she said. But she'll come back and fill us in when she returns. So as she was saying, in addition to that, was that um we had a total brain freeze. We are talking about the fibroid frequency as it relates to the body. So we're going to be doing mind, body, and spirit on various topics because we know that there's no separation in any of it. It is just it's one big old system and we cannot separate them. So Coach Shantae is back on the scene, crispy and clean. So what were you telling us? What were you telling us, Coach Shantae?
So what I was saying is today we're talking about the body connection with fibroids and just this um, getting clarity and understanding about it. But before I go into that, when whatever happened kicked me off, I started thinking about something. So I have a question that I want to pose to all of our watchers, listeners, everybody that's tuning in. Have
Mm-hmm.
you ever had a conversation with the women in your life about the health of their uterus? If you have not ever asked any questions, ask. I know that there are certain generational lines that can uh, be blurred when you're asking questions like this, but when you don't ask and you don't know, it's really difficult to manage certain things. And if your family is suffering, they shouldn't be suffering in silence. So that's
Mm.
my question. Have you had these conversations about uterine health with the women in your family? So I'm going to kick that question over to Coach Shayola and Coach Latoya. Have you all talked to your families about the health of their?
Coach Latoya, did you want to start?
Yes. Well, from last time I mentioned that I haven't had conversations with my family about the health of their uterus or anything. So no, I don't have any conversations. It's more so about other aspects of health that they may have had, as far as heart issues or diabetes, stuff like that, but not particularly with the womb.
Okay. What about you, Shayola?
I actually have. So I think I also shared a little bit last week in that fibroids was a thing with my mom, my aunt, um, my mom in particular. It was definitely like, I have to go to the hospital type of thing with her situation. And what we have come to realize, because as I was preparing for today's segment, what I am seeing kind of the how do you say, the commonality is that they say, scientifically we don't know what causes it. But my mother and I were talking about really just our diet, like how we have eaten. My mom has been on the journey of vegetarianism probably for about 25 years now. Um, but even in vegetarianism, you still are able to consume the dairy and the well, primarily the dairy. Pescatarianism, the seafood. So we have come to our conclusion that, what we are facing or feeling is the result of food. So to answer your question and bring that all the way around, yes, at least with my mama, I have had the conversation.
That
Mhm.
is
Mhm.
amazing, beautiful, and I definitely encourage everyone to have these conversations because you may know certain parts of the story of your mom, your aunt, your sister, your cousin, niece. You may know part of the story, but unless you ask questions and have those conversations, you don't get the full story. So last week after our session, I was inspired to talk to several women in my life about whether or not they had experienced fibroids. And surprisingly, it was something that hit closer to home than I realized because I said I hadn't had any issues with uterine fibroids, but I had issues with um, cysts on the breast. And I went ahead and started having these conversations, and my mom actually revealed that she had issues with fibroids. I knew when I was young, like really young, that she had hysterectomy, but I didn't know that the reason behind her hysterectomy was fibroid. My mom talked to me for years about how she had really horrible menstrual cycles, and she would be bleeding for more than 7 days, sometimes at a time. Really, really, really bad cramp, doubled over in pain, like really not able to function. And she said after she had me and my siblings, it became really unbearable. She uh, told me that we used to live in a townhouse. So she would set up the upstairs for us to just stay upstairs so she wouldn't have to move around too much. Or set up the downstairs where we could all stay downstairs so she wouldn't have to move around too much. And the only option that the doctors gave her was to have a hysterectomy at the age of 21. And when we were talking about it, I was really flabbergasted because I remember visiting her in the hospital after she had her hysterectomy, but I didn't realize that it was because of fibroid. And now that she is also on a holistic health journey, um, her mindset and beliefs around how that situation could have been better handled has shifted, and that has brought about some really interesting conversations. But if you haven't talked to and veggie bacon, I had to sit down for a moment, and in the midst of that conversation because it just sat on me a little bit heavy. But if you have not had these conversations, I highly, highly encourage you to just ask. Just ask. You know, they can tell you, no, that's none of your business, or it could turn into a really amazing healing experience for your entire family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So I pulled out prescription for nutritional healing.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we've got, African Holistic Health and a few other books and resources that we look at when it comes to the holistic healing practices and things. And they listed some um, different herbs and things that you can use to assist with dislodging your fibroids. And there's another resource. I left it in my office. It's Queen Afua's book, Overcoming an Angry Vagina. And that book is an amazing resource as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sacred is a great resource, but if you're looking for something that is specifically geared towards just healing issues of the uterus, that's a really great resource. So I said all that to say some of the herbs that are listed here are dandelion root, milk thistle, turmeric rhizome, and it says all of these are powerful antioxidants that support the liver while promoting the elimination of toxins. Have you all found in your studies or in practice the use of herbs being beneficial to the physical manifestation of fibroid?
Say the question again. Have the herbs been a manifestation of the fibroids?
Have you found that the herbs have been useful for treating and healing the manifestation of
Oh,
the
for
fibroid?
healing. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, dandelion is great. Raspberry leaf is great. And I normally, just buy the two and mix those up and drink it. I use it as a steam. Since we have mentioned the word steam, y'all definitely tune in next week, Friday. We will have Yeye Ola Sunday here with us. She's actually the young lady that coined the term yoni steam, and she is my instructor for acquiring Yoni Steam practitioner certificate. So that was a mouthful, but absolutely. I mean, if you're not too acute in any of your diseases, and dis-ease simply meaning that there is not a flow of ease in any area within your body, right? So um, herbs are definitely helpful, again, if you're not too far gone. So I say yes. Yes, indeed.
I see you shaking your head, Coach Latoya. What
Oh,
do you?
oh yeah, I was going to veg you back on what Coach Shayola mentioned. Absolutely, with the dandelion and raspberry or red leaf that I've used. I particularly, even though I really don't use as much dandelion herb, but I definitely have eaten a lot of dandelion greens, and also with the teas. So absolutely, are you all right? So absolutely with the teas, I concur with that.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
She concurs, y'all. And even if you're not doing dandelion as a leaf, if you will, as Coach Latoya was saying, just chopping that thing up real fine and eating it in a salad is great. It's a bitter, but it is definitely worth the benefits that it has for sure. I'm going to share screen as you continue your thought, Coach Shante.
Okay. Well, I was just going to say that now that we're talking about things that you can ingest, we've talked about herbs. Um, we talked about a little bit of the foods, some of the things that kind of contribute to and cause the fibroids in the form of dairy and all those mucus forming foods. Um, what are some of your favorites that you have eaten that you feel kind of helps to keep the body regulated, helps to
Oh, she went out again. Well, let's see. Hold on. Let me come back to you all. She's down there in Alabama. They must be having great weather. Let's see. I'll wait for her to come back. But I, again, I love dandelion, keeping it raw. I definitely love raspberries just as a fruit. That's a vibe. I feel like there are many things that help. Your dark leafy greens are going to be pretty much gold when it comes to releasing the body. I also like I'll put like diatomaceous earth in smoothies and hot beverages, if you will, so that they can help. Just like, I don't know if anyone's used them, but like the food grade ones work pretty much how they work in your garden, but it helps to just remove any slush that may be in your colon, which was why I wanted to share the screen, but I'm gonna have to do it in a way that I didn't necessarily care to do it. But Coach Shante, what were you saying? I answered the question. Um, I said that you down there in Alabama and you must be experiencing great weather. Where they like turn that computer off and come outside? Like, what's really going on?
It's in between. The pendulum is swinging. The sun was shining. Fluffy white clouds this rising, and then it was raining really hard. So I don't know which one of those things is causing this phone to have such a hard time today. But yeah, my question was simply, what are some foods that you can eat to kind of keep your colon moving, to keep you from holding on to any generating or holding on to any unnecessary excess mucus and things like
Mm. Yep, that was it. One other thing was in terms of moving the colon, definitely some castor oil. The internal castor oil is going to work you, and it's going to work you real good. Senna is also another one that I would take in to help. So yeah, definitely between the greens and the raspberry and the dandelion included in the green category, and some castor oil, even castor oil to rub on the area where your fibroids are, can be helpful.
that.
I don't know. Can y'all see my screen?
There we go.
Go ahead, Coach Latoya.
I was saying, yes, I saw your screen.
Okay.
But as far as things to like to improve your womb or whatnot, I have to admit that sometimes I take for granted or maybe not say, maybe it's not saying that is not the best way to put it, but because I eat a lot of greens in general, I feel like a lot of the things that I eat helps with the womb in general, because, with the greens, that is it's a blood cleanser, but it helps build, it helps strengthen your body. So I do eat a lot of greens, and I love eating berries. I eat berries, all berries, whether it's blackberry, blueberry, raspberry, all the berries. I eat that a lot. I put it in my smoothies a lot. I eat it with I like to make chia seed pudding a lot. So I tend to have it in that, so I find that I like to do a lot of chlorophyll or chlorella or spirulina, like things that are green. I do that a lot. So I feel like that really helps with strengthening your womb.
Mm. You know what? That's so great, because I've for a hot second take for granted my chlorella and my spirulina as well. Like, it is, somewhat of a cure-all. Just getting into the cells and helping to fortify them is definitely a vibe. So, even if you are putting it in just a glass of water and lime juice is definitely a vibe, or in your smoothies, you want to get your greens in. But I love what you said in terms of it being a blood purifier, because that's what we're doing, right? We are cleaning out the blood that causes these non-cancerous tumors. But real quick, I just wanted to share just how the fibroids can affect the body, right? We talked about some things that we can do to avoid, even having to feel these things. But you may or may not know whether or not you have fibroids, but it could be an indication if you have heavy menstrual bleeding, menstrual periods lasting longer than a week. And those of us who have gone through a Sacred Woman or have read any of Queen of Fua's works, we know that we should not really have a cycle longer than 3 days. Anything more than 3 days is considered hemorrhaging. Pelvic pressure or pain, frequent urination, difficulty emptying the bladder, constipation, and back and leg pains. So, again, it may not mean that you have them, but if you do have any of these symptoms, it's a possibility that you do. So, no need to fear, though. There is a cure um, for all of these things.
Absolutely. And one
Mm-hmm.
of the cures is detoxing. Detoxing and releasing from the body any waste, any stagnant energy. Those things really do accumulate and cause a whole lot of issues. In researching and just reading up on fibroids, estrogen was one of the main components of building a fibroid tumor. And we take in a lot of estrogen in a lot of the products and things that we eat. So taking the time to seasonally just detox and step away from the normal way that you do things is a really great way to jumpstart your healing and help your body to release those fibroids. One note that I do want to say, um, when you're on a journey of healing, recovery can kind of sometimes look like a worsening of symptoms.
Mm.
So start the process of healing and you're dislodging things out of your uterus. When you have your menstrual cycle, you may notice that your cycles are heavier or more painful. That's because when you're on your menstrual cycle, that's your body's natural methodology for detoxing. Detoxing your uterus, detoxing your vagina, is getting all of the accumulated waste from the last 28 days out of the body. So if you have a lot of waste accumulated in the uterus that your body is now ready to release, it may cause you to have more pain. So keep that in mind. Just because you may experience a bit more on the side of menstrual bleeding, menstrual cramping, it doesn't necessarily mean that you made the wrong decision. It just means that you're on the path to cleaning it out so that you don't have that experience going forward. So, question for you, ladies. What
Mm-hmm.
can you tell our viewers about this 21-day fall detox thing we've got going on?
I think our raw vegan chef wants to answer that one.
Go ahead, Toya. What you got to say to the people?
Yes, we are having a 21-day uh, fall equinox. Fall equinox. I had to think about it because I said not solstice fall. We having a 21-day fall equinox detox, and it will be the kickoff will be on the 21st, not on the 20, on the 27th of August, and then we officially start on September 3rd, and it will be for 3 weeks. And you don't want to miss out on the opportunity of having community building, which I feel like supports everyone. You will also have access to a platform where we'll be able to connect and commune. You also will have a guide that was created by our very own Coach Shayola, which will support you throughout the whole journey. I love it. It's very organized, very straight to the point. You will also have the ability to have a consultation by one of us and also a tune-up, which is great and very insightful to be able to see where you're going from the begin, where you're at the beginning, and then where you're at the end. So you will you definitely don't want to miss out on this amazing opportunity. And I feel like the biggest thing is that it supports you on being able to be held accountable. And then
Mm.
you'll want to show up because you'll have a group of people that will definitely be motivating you. And you'll be inspired by what everybody shared. I'm just based upon our last one that was during the spring equinox. So you definitely don't want to miss out. And you can go on our website at the emeraldgreencollective.com to be able to sign up, and then you'll get more information as we get closer, which is not that long from now at all.
Definitely. You know what else is not that long for now? The deadline for that $99.
Oh yes,
You know,
the
what do they call it? Early bird pricing. So if you are interested, it's currently 2:26 p.m. Eastern, right? So we're gonna go till 11:59 tonight with that price, and then tomorrow it will raise to $199, and it's very much worth the value. For the consultations alone, you know, are $125. So, you know, along with the digital content and us, you get us and the guide and all the things, you know, that support, that accountability, you know, invest in yourself is what they say. And, you know, we agree with that. We really want to invest in ourselves and work with people that are really connected to their craft and their talents and skills to help you, you know, reach your ultimate. So we look forward to connecting and vibing with y'all. So, you know, get in that website and do a thing, and save yourself $100, because why not? Right?
Right.
Yeah, you know. We are working on big things, you know. The collective, we have really been vibing out and learning each other and building and bonding over these last almost 2 years in just a few months. It's like, oh my gosh. So to share us, what we have built collectively with all of you is, you know, it's why we do this, for sure. So we have about 3 minutes left. Anyone else have anything that they would like to add?
You know, to add that detoxing is really an overlooked phenomenon. We've kind of been inundated with so many detoxes: cabbage juice detox, skinny tea detox, da 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 detox. All
Listen, the weather out there today is like, listen, you need to be out here, whether it's raining or the sun shining. You need to be out here. Oh, looks like it's doing something. Let's see. Hold on.
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Okay, well, I'm going to make this exceptionally short. Every detox is not the same. The best aspect of this detox is that it is not reliant on product. It is relying on your commitment to change your life. So you are provided lifestyle change opportunities that are.
All right. It is definitely okay. Let's see. She'll come back. I don't think I can finish her thought. Well, maybe I can. Oh, there she goes. There she goes.
I don't know what the last thing you heard was, but detoxing with us will help your new habits stick long term and not just be a fad. So come on in, get in at the $99.99, and we will see you in our fall detox August 26th.
Hey. I love that. I mean, we do. We have so many things, you know. I have people that reach out and they're like, oh, you know, can you help me with this? Absolutely. You know, if it's within my wheelhouse to do. However, like I have a young lady in particular who came to my mind, and she's like, oh, you know, can you do a womb detox tea for me? You know, I'm ready to start my family. And I'm like, sure, you know, but it's not just the tea. It's an entire mind, body, and spirit situation, you know. So we want to engage again all of those aspects and not just focus on the one area, because if one is affected, all is affected, and that's just, you know, what it is. Coach Latoya, do you have anything that you would like to add?
That's it. You hit the nail on the head as far as it's a lifestyle thing. You can't just look at just at a product or look at just a certain item to shift everything. It has to be a holistic experience, mind, body, and spirit. So perfect.
Okay. I think that Coach, there she is. Hold on.
Oh,
All right. Well, did you have anything that you wanted to say before we close out and y'all, next week is going to be fire because this is our first guest. We have been doing this solo, but we know that we have to spread our wings and bring other people into the fold. And Yeye Olasunde is such a great, not only resource, but just a priestess in her work. And we cannot wait to have her on. But before we close out, anything from you, Coach?
The only thing that I want to say is when you reached out to her, her response was just like, what? Oh my God. So if you are going to be busy next week, set a reminder on your phone so that you can come back in and catch the replay. If you don't have plans Friday, 2:00 Eastern, set an alarm so you can be here live and get your questions answered if anything comes up for you during the broadcast or afterwards. You can type in the comments or you can send or put a comment in the replay section. But you definitely want to be in that session. All right. And I'm not going to say anything else because my internet may do some shenanigans, but come on in the room, y'all. Come on in.
Peace, y'all.